Greetings and salutations, everybody. My name is MiAh the King, and today we are taking a look at a game that came out earlier today called Atom RPG Trudograd, developed and published by Atom Team. Came out today on Steam, by the way. Atom RPG Trudograd, according to the Steam store page, is a turn-based, post-apocalyptic role-playing game which continues the story of Atom RPG as a standalone sequel/expansion, though I personally never played the first one. It follows the traditions set by classic CRPGs such as the early Fallout and Wasteland titles. And, for the most part, that's pretty damn accurate. So, I played this game for a little over an hour, and I experienced quite a lot in that time. And so far, the only real complaint that I have about it is pretty much a lot of things surrounding the fact that it's in early access. But before we go any further, let me get my quick promotion out of the way. Please subscribe. Thank you. Now then, ever play the original Fallout games, or the Wasteland games? What about Pillars of Eternity or Baldur's Gate? This game plays a lot like those. I found myself really enjoying it. It has a great level of detail, the voice acting has a lot of attention paid towards it, as do the other sound effects and musics of the game. The art style, as I stated earlier, is very detailed, but it's also very pleasant to look at in a lot of different ways. The lighting is right, the detail is right, the changing of the environment, such as day and night cycles and weather, is pretty nice. Frame rates are nice. You know, I could keep going. The controls are also fairly simple, easy enough to learn on your own. I did have a few issues in the beginning as I was learning it. Some things were just left to the unknown, I suppose. And I also know that the length of this game is going to be phenomenal, because if it follows the norm of most CRPGs, then it's bound to be a very long game. I'm thinking probably 30 to 60 hours, maybe even longer. So, to be brief, because, well, I mean, I don't have a whole lot to say about this, but I'm gonna try to make it brief, because I don't want to spend all day doing this. You don't want to spend all day watching this. You just want to know if this game is good or not. So let's just move on. When I say I don't have a lot to say about this, you'll find out what I mean in a minute. For the positives of this game, I mean, as I said earlier, it's got really good graphics. I like what it's doing here. It's great for its time frame. It's great for what it's trying to do. It's great for the type of game it's going for, so I have no problems there, no complaints. It's even got smooth processing. Even the loading screens aren't too bad. The music is pretty decent. You don't really notice it a whole lot, but when you do, it's actually pretty nice. And there's lots of voice acting in this. You can really feel like Icewind Dale, Baldur's Gate kind of thing with the voice acting and the way that it does its narrative actions here. So that's really nice. I'm already sure that the length of this is going to be great, so that's a positive considering they're asking for money. And the stability was pretty stable for me. I didn't have any glitches, bugs, or crashes or freezes or anything like that, so that was pretty nice. And its story is fairly interesting. I'm not sure if I was supposed to have played the one that came before this or not to understand some of the things going on, but from what I gathered, it's pretty easy enough for a newcomer like me to just jump in, and I was pretty interested in it. You're basically like an agent for some government agency or something, and you're investigating some stuff in the outskirts of somewhere. I don't really know a lot about the background about this place, though. It didn't go into that, so I don't really know. That's the only thing that makes me feel like I should have played the first one before I played this one. It seems like it set up the world and everything in the last game, but I don't know where. I don't even know where to find that game. So I don't know. I'm not really into this. This is a kind of game that I can really get into, but only at certain points in my life. Like, I played through the Pillars of Eternity, Icewind Dale, Kingdom Deliverance Come, whatever the fuck that game was called. Baldur's Gate, Icewind Dale. I've played through all those games, but like, I have to be in a certain mood. You know what I mean? I got to be in a certain style to play those games. I can't just jump on them willy-nilly, because they require a lot of immersion, a lot of time, a lot of focus, and a lot of reading. So if you're not in the right mindset, if you're not looking for something like that, this game is not really for you. So for me, it takes time. I'm not currently in the position to enjoy a game like this, but I can still appreciate certain things about it that I loved in those other games. So that's, that. But as for the story's pretty simple, but the lore and background is still a mystery to me. But besides all those positives that I just gave, I now need to go into the negatives. I got to go into them before I forget about them. I don't want to lose what I have. Honestly, I don't really have a whole lot to go over when it comes to negatives. So let's just get this over with, so that way you can be fully aware of what exactly it is that you're buying and getting into. So once again, another early access game that doesn't give me a tutorial. Man, oh man, I'm really getting sick and tired of games not giving me a tutorial. I do not care if it is early access. If you have early access and you release it for people to buy, the first thing and only thing they should be playing until your game is released should be a tutorial. That should be a minimum included. I'm sorry, there's no excuse in the book that tells me I don't need a tutorial. And it's even if you're like, well, people who play the first game are going to know how to play the second one. They don't need a tutorial. Yeah, but what about all the new fans you're trying to get? Every game, every new game, every game period needs a freaking tutorial. You need something to teach you how to play, to teach you what is what does what. This game never taught me anything about the fact that I could get cold and freeze. It didn't tell me that I had to eat or drink, which I figured that out in the first 5 seconds. But even so, that would have been a nice thing to tell me. The only thing it told me was how to unlock a door. That was literally the only thing it told me how to do, which I could have figured out on my own. It didn't teach me about anything else. I had to discover everything else on my own while I was bumbling about, and that is so annoying. That is the first and main thing every early access game needs, especially if you're introducing a game that is a little more complicated and in-depth than most games like this one is. Okay? So that's a big pet peeve of mine. It already gets a negative point for me just for not having a tutorial. That one little slide telling me how to unlock a door does not count. Next up is the camera controls. They're a little bit annoying. Sometimes your camera zooms around at super speeds, and other times it zooms around like a snail. Zooming in and adjusting the angle is very unexplained and also really annoying to manage. Not hard to manage, just annoying how it never goes the way you want it to. It never does what you want it to do, and you're always correcting yourself. And the combat. And I think this is probably the biggest disappointment to me. It's boring. And it doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, there seems to be cover, but getting behind cover doesn't really do anything. And there's no real mechanic into actually, like, getting down behind cover, like kneeling down or hiding behind a wall or anything. I mean, you can move your character to stand beside something, but it's, for you to simulate being in cover, but it doesn't do anything. And it's hard to manage certain things during combat. It's hard to notice certain things during combat. Like, it's annoying to figure out where your health is, where your action points are, how much can you use for these particular things. Oh, it doesn't tell me. Okay, I guess I'm just going to have to guess then. Reloading your gun. When do I have to reload my gun? The game doesn't tell me when. How can I do it? Or do I have to waste a turn doing it? What about switching weapons? Does that waste action points? Does it not? Is there a point to doing that? What about the different skills that I can use? Oh, I don't have any different skills. Oh, wait, no, I need to click on this to activate that before I can see these different skills. Well, too bad the fight's already over and I just learned that at the very end. How do I use those skills? Monitoring your health, monitoring your allies' health, monitoring your enemy's health. Combat is just, it needs to be reworked a lot. Alright, I kind of get what they're going for here, and I appreciate it, and I like it, but it is very clearly too early to enjoy the combat in this game. That's what I gotta say. The combat was boring, the combat was unexplained, and it was very confusing. I managed to get through my first fight very luck-based, basically. And then my second fight I had, I was murdered pretty badly. So that was just combat. It needs to be reworked, plain and simple. The combat is not where it needs to be in this game, not in my opinion anyway. Not after all the hundreds of thousands of games that I've played. This combat is not something that's going to keep me here. And if you're going to have combat frequent in this game, which it should if it's going to be a good CRPG, this needs to get fixed as soon as possible. And now we move on to objectives and quests. Now, the game gives you no real idea where to go or what to do on anything. It says something like, you need to find this guy. And then it gives you this giant city to play in a brand new game you've never played before. How, where, and why? Something about a scientist because your boss has told you to? Okay, fine. But what about how and where? I mean, I spent most of my first hour of gameplay wandering around just looking for interesting content so I could have something for my video. But for the most of the time, I was literally running around talking to people who were doing nothing and adding nothing. I mean, at the same time of looking for content, I was also trying to figure out where this quest was. It was kind of a two-pronged attack there. It took me forever to find the specific room I needed, to find the specific guy I needed to talk to, which gave me the quest I needed to handle, to get to the information that I needed, to start my search for the scientist. And it's during that little annoying quest chain that I ended up getting into my second fight and then dying, which sends you back to the main menu rather than giving you a chance to reload to an earlier save or autosave. I would like some kind of adjustment to this. Give me a quest marker to follow, or give me easier or more detailed quest information so I have a better way of finding where I need to go, what I need to do, and why. So, to be clear, I would like a tutorial in this game to teach me what I need to know and how to play their game. I'd like for the quest to have some kind of guiding markers or something to make it easier to find objectives and such. And I'd like for combat to be more intuitive and make a little more sense. Maybe a little more, detail. Give me some more with my combat. Give me some, meat and gravy. Don't just give me bare bones. Give me the meat. So, I mean, but to be fair, as I stated in the beginning, the game is in early access, and who knows, maybe it'll get some changes to make it a lot better than it already is, but those few things that I mentioned already are kind of big deals to me, because if I got to be stuck in this game for the next 30 hours of story, these are things that would quickly get on my nerves. But don't get me wrong, this is a really good game for a really good price. I mean, a really good price. Just keep in mind that it is in early access, and it is obviously going to have some issues. Remember that early access is basically an investment. If what you see here and if what you've heard here is something and you're still interested in, trying out and investing some money into this game, then I would highly suggest you check it out and definitely give it a shot. But remember, this isn't fast-paced. This isn't going to be super exciting. It's slow-paced. A whole lot of reading, a whole lot of immersion. You have to really focus on this game. Strategy, survival, looting, RPG, top-down kind of game. If you understood any of that, because I was all over the place, then think of this. The game will only cost you $10 for possibly 30 to 60 hours worth of entertainment and immersive fun. So it's up to you. I mean, can you spare $10 for a game that already has a pretty solid baseline, and it's only going to get better from here because it's early access, and they're going to be getting feedback from people like me and you who are going to help them add some things and change some things to make their game better? Is $10 worth that? Is it worth investing in this game now so you can enjoy it later? Well, let me put it to you this way. I have pretty much zero money. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that I have zero money. And I'm still going to keep this game. I believe this is an investment worth keeping. So I'm going to take this game, I'm going to keep it, and I am going to store it away for a while, and I'm going to wait. And maybe in 4 months, 5 months, I'll come back and see if they've made any significant changes. Maybe you fans out there, you viewers out there, will let me know when a significant change has happened. Or who knows, maybe the developers will make something and my Steam will pop it up and I'll be able to grab it and see. And I'll be like, hey, look, they made an update, whatever. And I can go in and check it out. I need that combat fixed. I need those cameras reworked, and I need a better tutorial. And I gotta have some kind of quest guidance or something. I mean, even in games like Icewind Dale or Pillars of Eternity or whatever, they gave you enough information with your quest. Like, they gave you a whole paragraph, and then they would give you, like, in fine writing down at the bottom, it would be like, you need to get to this certain location, or you need to get to a place that's similar to this, or something like that. It would give you a general idea of where to go, what to do. And another thing about this game that's annoying with this whole thing is, because it has a day-night cycle, at certain times of day and certain times of night, people move around. They go to different places. So if you're at the wrong place at the wrong time, the quest isn't going to start. Even if you get to the right place and you're in the wrong time, and you get there and there's the guy you're supposed to be meeting isn't there, you're going to think you're in the wrong place, but you need to come back during the day for him to be. You see how that can be annoying? So the game doesn't tell you stuff like that. The game needs to be throwing information at you. I mean, it's a game all about reading anyway. You might as well just give us more to read so we can at least learn the game, how it works, what to do, where to go, and why. That's all I'm saying. Just give me more information. Give me something. And when you're cramped in this tight city with a top-down view and random bits of building are getting in the way of your camera, makes it very hard to navigate or remember how to get anywhere, to memorize the city and stuff, which makes it even more annoying in trying to get around and trying to find quests and stuff. And all these things add up to make you confused, lost, and annoyed. Now, I know that I'm not going to spend every day of playing this game in that city, or at least I hope not, but even so, something needs to be done to make this a little more user-friendly for the players so they don't get lost so badly, so it's a little bit easier to navigate, so they can actually enjoy the game or choose to explore. I should be able to have the option of going straight for the quest or going out and exploring more. But because I don't know where the quest is, I find myself exploring every nook and cranny against my will, which just makes me not want to explore, and when I find the quest, to say screw it to everything else, screw it to the side quests that are hanging around, screw it to all the random loot hanging around. I finally found my quest after 2 hours of searching. That's what I'm going to do. You see what I'm saying? And I'm sure there are plenty of people out there who agree with me and think that, oh yeah, exploration is fine, but when you just want to go to the quest, you just want to go to the quest. But if you can't find the quest and you're forced to explore, it just irritates you. It grinds on you, and eventually you won't even do any exploring on your own because you know that the game is going to make you do it when you try to find the main quest anyway. And to me, that's not giving me an option. That's not giving me a choice, and I don't like it when choice games take away my choice. Anyway, I had a lot to say about this. I guess this is such a short video anyway. But you take what I said at your own pace. Take a look at this footage at your own pace. You know, come up to your own decision. I personally think it's worth it. Like I said, I'm actually going to keep it, even though I'm dirt broke. I'm going to keep it. But, you know, it's up to you guys. What you see is what you get. This game is, you know, I wanted to rant. I wanted to tell you guys about why I am a little annoyed with the game, because these certain things might be something that would really annoy you. And you might be thinking, oh, I'll buy the game, but I'm not going to play it right now because those things he said really speak to me, and I don't want to have to be annoyed either. Or other people would be like, that's not going to annoy me. It's no big deal. I won't worry about it, and I'll buy the game. He says it's pretty good, so let's check it out. And then you might really enjoy it. All right? So anyway, that's all I got to say for this one, everybody. I mean, it's a pretty damn CRPG, and I think it's a really good investment. It does annoy me in some parts, but I think that, you know, given a year, this game's going to be incredible. And I stole it for $10. You know what I mean? It's a steal right now, because who knows how much this is going to be when it's finally released. You don't want to be that sucker who waited until it was released and end up paying $40 for a game that I got for $10. See what I'm saying? Got to keep that in mind too. Now, I don't have to give this game a rating, but if I did, I'd have to give this probably, as of right now, a 7 out of 10. Once it's fully released, this could easily be an 8 or maybe even a 9. Alright, everybody, so keep that in mind if you're thinking about making this investment, okay? Alright, that's all I got for this episode. Thank you all so much for watching. Please do not forget to comment and subscribe and hit that like button, because literally every little bit helps and every little bit means a lot. So, once again, thank you so much. I can't wait to see you all again on my next adventure, and until then, I bid you farewell.